Brandon here. Time for more Brandon's boy problems. So, I've been single again for a little over a month now, even though it doesn't really feel like I'm actually single, considering that my ex and I still have been pretty much seeing each other as much as before we broke up. I guess it is hard to just completely detach from each other, especially after spending a year together and pretty much spending all our time together and being each other's everything and being there for each other for everything, especially with everything that we also had planned, like Halloween plans, and like I still wanted to spend my birthday with him, or still plan to spend my birthday with him. And he has a Friendsgiving he's been planning for months, and I still want to be a part of that and help him with that. And it's just like been impossible to just completely just detach completely and just completely sever ties with each other, even though normally I am the type that's very much delete, block, erase. Like once we're over, go our separate ways. If we reconnected later down the line, then that is fine. But normally I don't like to hold on to my past because I want to have a clear path to my future. So I just feel like holding on to exes prevents moving on. But I also feel like right now I'm not in a space where it's like I'm in a rush to move on, I guess, because I'm not the type of person to like jump from relationship to relationship. I like having my time being single, free, reflect, growing, getting myself together, being there for myself, and just being able to be free to do as I please. Like, I don't want to just immediately jump into a relationship, especially after dealing with all the relationship issues I just went through. I just need lots of time to heal and get myself together and get over that past, like, relationship trauma. So to me, I just really feel like I am the type of person that just needs space after a breakup. But I feel like right now I haven't been needing that space because I still like having my ex in my life, but it's also like I feel mostly certain that I most likely do not want to get back together, even though he definitely wants to get back together and he wants to resume the relationship. But I just feel like right now I'm not in that place where I just feel like that is going to alleviate the pain and the trauma that I experienced in the relationship, or even just be what is best for me in the moment. I just feel like as much as I do love him, I love spending time with him. I still like hooking up. I still like doing things together, going places together, cooking together, doing all the boyfriend activities. I just don't feel like I'm ready to be back with him. And it's like I love being in a relationship and I love being a boyfriend, but I mean, relationships definitely aren't easy. And then it's like getting back together would definitely be like, it's not going to fix everything. It's not going to make everything better. It's not going to elevate all my past trauma and hurt that I experienced with dating him. And I just feel like I'm struggling with forgiveness and reconciliation. I feel like lots of people combine the two, but the reality is they really are not the same thing. Forgiveness is being able to move forward. Well, no, that's reconciliation. Forgiveness is just being able to let that hurt go of the things that hurt you. Reconciliation is when you actually decide, like, I'm going to keep you in my life. So I feel like in the past, even though we didn't break up, I didn't forgive him for things that he did in the past. But I also feel like it's hard for me to forgive people when they're still in my face. And then it's like every decision they make that I don't agree with or that I think is negatively impacting me, it just reminds me of every other previous negative decision they made that didn't impact me in a positive way. And it just makes me feel like I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be in this relationship. I don't want to be with someone that's constantly making choices that negatively impact me and negatively impact a relationship. I want to be with someone that is going to make smarter, wiser choices that are going to benefit the both of us and not just him, and completely neglect me for others or his own selfish interests. And the things I couldn't get over were the trying to date someone else after he was already dating me for like a month in the first month of us even getting to know each other, being together, and not being honest and open with me about being exclusively dating and not giving me real legitimate answers as to why he still wanted to stay on dating apps, and the whole betraying me with his family thing. It's just like all of that stuff just compounded. And it's like as much as I stayed after that happened and tried to get over it, it's like each new giant hurdle just reminds me of the previous hurdle. And then it's like had I left after the first one, I wouldn't be dealing with this right now. And it's like, I have no regrets. I definitely loved him. I loved our time together. I love all our adventures all the time we spent together. I love everything we did together. It's just my issue is allowing him or just anyone in my life to have more chances to potentially hurt me. And it's like, it is so hard for me to forgive and get over things and give people another chance. So if I do give you another chance and then you fuck up again, it's just kind of like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. And then it's like you fuck up again. It's just kind of like, why am I staying here? And like we both have past resentment and hurt to deal with. And I feel like his resentment towards me is that I left him. But it's just like, how do you expect me to stay after everything that keeps happening? And I feel like I know I wasn't a perfect boyfriend. I can definitely be selfish and self-centered, but I also feel like I also don't make choices that are just gonna completely blatantly fuck over my partner unless they made that choice to fuck me over first. Like I feel like I don't make the first move to like I didn't ever cheat on him. Wasn't unfaithful. I was honest about seeing other people when I saw them or when I was relevant. The only other time I hooked up with someone else during the relationship or in the time that I first met him until the end of the relationship was literally the day after I met him, and that guy and I were planning on hooking up before I even first talked to my ex online. So those plans were already in motion. So of course it's like there was no expectations like the day after we first met, but this was like he wanted to pursue someone else over a month after us dating, after we'd already been going on vacations and whatnot. So it's just like, I feel like the biggest issue for me is letting go of the betrayal, but it's also just the fact that I believe that he's been faithful ever since then and that he hasn't been treated with anyone else, but it's just the fact that he always defended that decision or that he thought that was a good decision and that he didn't show any really like accountability or like remorse for like not being honest and transparent with me when he was transparent and honest with the other person he wanted to pursue from the beginning. But I was already here for like a month and you're doing stuff behind my back and weren't honest and transparent with me. And it's just like, that's the part I just can't get over. It's just kind of like, had you just been honest and transparent from the front, like the beginning, like I wouldn't have that hurt, betrayal, and pain from him. And it's just like, they don't think there's anything that's ever really going to get rid of it because every time I'm with him, it's just a reminder of that situation and what happened. And it's like the betrayal with the family. It's like, I left at the end because it felt like he was choosing his family over me all over again. And I feel like after a year of being each other's lives and you're still haven't decided that you're gonna put your partner first, put your relationship first, and don't see that you can't just completely neglect and ignore your boyfriend after like dating for a year because your family's going through drama is not okay. Like, I am not the type of person that's gonna give someone like endless chances to just keep fucking me over and pissing me off. And I feel like what I have to think of is like what I'm learning from the situation, what I'm going to apply to be better in the future. Because I feel like from these lessons, I don't think I was the villain. Like, I did turn my back on him and I just feel like that's also the issue. It's just the fact that he blames me I don't want to say blame, but he definitely has resentment towards me because I didn't do anything to alleviate when his family was coming at him based off of the video that I made. But in my mind, my video is literally just recapping everything that actually happened and my thoughts and feelings about the situation. So it's not like I made a video being like, fuck your mom, fuck your dad, I hate all your siblings. It's not like I did that. I didn't go through a list of saying why I hate every person in his life. I literally said how I was negatively impacted based off of drama that stemmed from interacting with his family members. And then I got attacked and threatened and banished or like whatever from family functions and bashed on the internet by his father. It's just kind of like, I literally was just sharing my thoughts and feelings after something that happened in my life. So the fact that he resents me because I didn't delete the video, it was just like, that was never going to benefit me anyway. Like, I have the right to share my experiences, my thoughts and feelings, since that's what I was doing way before I met you. And it's just like, yeah, the video negatively impacted you, but also the situation negatively impacted me that I was talking about in the video. And that's something that's always bothered with me, like with blogging about my life. It's like people get upset when you talk about them, but then they don't care that you're talking about a negative experience they caused in your life. So it's just like they're more upset that you're sharing your experience of the fact that they made you have that experience. So that's something that just always feels so disingenuous and like annoying to me. It's like, I don't give a fuck that you don't like that I talked about you. You should have never given me a reason to talk about you in the first place. So that's just something I've always just felt, and I've always will feel that way. It's just like people are so narcissistic and self-centered with themselves that they just care, like, how dare you talk about me or post something publicly. And it's like, if you do fucked up shit to me in private, why do I have to keep that a secret? Like, you did it, it's the truth, it's a fact. Like, you can't be mad at me for reporting something that you did, especially if you did it to me. Like, I'm sharing my truth and you are a part of that, so you just don't like being the villain in the story. But the reality is, that's what happened. And people can't handle being the villain in other people's story. I have always been able to handle, like, I'm not a innocent person. I do mean fucked up things to people, but I own it. I admit to it. I share it. Like, I own my truth, and other people struggle with that, and that's also just a big issue I had in the relationship. So things are just really complicated because it's like we're still seeing each other, we're still involved with each other, we're still basically dating, we're still having sex, we're still traveling or have plans to travel, we're still doing events, we're still around each other's friends and family. So it's just like we're basically still dating, but I just feel like, honestly, I mean, honestly, it's probably not gonna last much longer because he doesn't like it. He wants you back together, or he wants to be able to feel free, I guess, to fully move on. And I completely understand that, because this is why exactly I feel like it's best to not keep exes in your life. It's just, if we're not going to be together, then we need to be free to move on from each other. It's just really hard to let go and actually let the relationship fully end, even though it has been officially over since September and we're now in November. So it's just a very complicated situation, and it's exactly why I know that it's going to be a while before I am ready to enter a relationship again. But I like to stay optimistic and say never. Like, I don't believe in being single for like a certain amount of time, because again, we can't predict who's going to come into our lives, what's going to happen in the future, or what direction we're going in. All we can do is hope for the best and be better in our next relationship. So thanks for joining me for this episode of Branden's Boy Problems.